Hey, Cooley, man, look, I don't even know if you check your messages on your social media or whether or not you, review your videos or nothing. But look, man, I missed this podcast here that you did a day or two ago with this guy right here. I just got finished listening to it. And I'd really, really like the opportunity if you could set it up. I sent you a message on Discord as well. But I really would like the opportunity if you could set it up where he and I might be able to have a little debate segment, even if it's like on your open debate panel like you did a couple nights ago, because it's really an interesting take the guy had as far as the subject of interracial marriages or relationships or whatever. I'd like to discuss that with him from a bit of a different angle than what the two of you went back and forth with. The main crux of it being that this idea that he and Nick Fuentes have of there being white people or Caucasians or whatever just simply is a misunderstanding. Certainly the Germans and the French and the Scots and the Irish are more closely genetically joined, and even because of Christendom, culturally joined than say, a Brit, an English person, and a Chinese person, an English person, and a sub-Saharan black person, sure. But at the same time, the idea of there being this cohesive white race really denies, well, I don't know if he denies it, but he doesn't seem to have a very good understanding of the actual history of Europe and the development of all of that. And I'd like to really engage with him on that amongst a few other things. So yeah, man, I'm 54 years old. I do most of my arguing over on Facebook because I'm 54 years old, probably. That's where old folks hang out at. I have started trying to do a little bit more, stretch out a little bit to some other platforms and everything. But I don't have a whole bunch of debate information I can let you go read and that sort of stuff. But I'm not a dummy, although sometimes I do play an idiot on TV, right? But I'm not an idiot. I hold a couple of degrees. One of them is in religious studies. I've raised 5 kids. I've been married to the whitest white woman God ever made for 34 years. Well, going on 35 years and everything. Yeah, if she was any whiter, she'd be transparent. That's no joke, man. When she cuts herself, she bleeds sour cream. I ain't lying. But anyway, I like to explore some of that stuff and everything, and whatever. To go back and forth with that. I point out that my wife is so white you can almost literally see the veins under her skin. Because me growing up, I did not grow up like that. I grew up like a marshmallow and a bowl of Cocoa Puffs is how I describe it. So I tell people sometimes joking around that I married a white woman on accident. But not only did I marry a white woman, but gosh, she is like whitey white. But I've worked on her 3 decades. 3 decades. I've kind of, worked her around and got things together and whatever. But just to kind of give you an idea, I'm not some crazy person just wanting to get on there to embarrass you or your podcast or, be like a Cenk Uyghur or something like that or whatever. And just started yelling and screaming at people. I would really like to engage with the guy because he seems to be a smart enough guy. He just doesn't seem to have a whole bunch of male masculine leadership trying to, teach him and lead him. And he seems to have what I call a vitamin D deficiency. You know what I mean? Anyway, man, holler back at me. Hopefully you will, because like I said, I like to engage with him, but I know you're a busy man and everything. So, take care, man. Be safe.